So gamers out there, including myself, have long been making the case that video games should be considered an art form. Some games may support this argument better than others, but it's hard to deny that every gamer has deep emotional connections to memories of specific sounds or specific music or specific characters. And if art is judged based off the emotional impact it has, then Spiritfarer is proof that video games are in fact art. In this video, we're gonna explore a spoiler-free review. We're gonna discuss whether or not this game is for you, and I'll even show you how to get it on PC for just $1, which is not a clickbait exaggeration. I literally spent $1 to get access to this game. All right, Spiritfarer, let's get into it. Spiritfarer, which is available, by the way, on everything, is described by its creators as a cozy management game about dying. You'll meet spirits who have died, who are still working through some unresolved stuff from their lives. So you'll complete tasks for these spirits through sailing, fishing, farming, mining, crafting, and cooking, eventually leading these spirits to a point where they're ready for a second death, a final pass through the Everdoor. All right, usually at this point in the video, I'd make a cringy, creepy joke about myself, but the topic of this game is clearly too serious for this, so just pretend I made a random penis joke right here. All right, first, there will be the day-to-day tasks that give your journey a warm simplicity, similar to Stardew Valley. You're gonna be fishing, farming, crafting, cooking, all of this so that you can provide your journeying companions with comfortable homes and their favorite meals. That's really where the cozy part of this game comes in. The game itself is visually gorgeous. It's this beautiful blend of detailed animation combined with these lively, creative particle effects. It feels like you're playing through a 90s Disney animation, but with a bunch of Ori and the Blind Forest effects piled on top. That doesn't make it sound as good as it is. It's gorgeous. It's a beautiful game. And when you're casually fishing on the back of your boat on some long journey to a new island, the world will seem easy. While the long creative animations can get tedious by the 100th time you've encountered them, much of that monotony is broken up through minigames while you're crafting or acquiring resources. The minigames provide a slight break from the tedium of animation, even if they themselves also become tedious minigames by the time you get to the end. It's not exactly gripping, and there's some players that would probably prefer that this game just get to the point, just get me my resources so I can move on. But I found that even though this stuff moves slowly, it complements the rest of the theme of this game, which is that slow journey. As you explore this magical world of the afterlife, you'll find access to new resources, new blueprints. They'll allow you to upgrade your boat, and they'll give you the tools so that you can keep exploring new areas, farm new types of plants, which lets you have new recipes and craft new items. And as that goes on, you'll also start building homes and improving homes for your spirit friends who will live on your boat. This exploring is mostly open, but loosely guided through requests from your spirit friends and certain checkpoints you have to hit before you can explore blocked off areas of the world. You'll find yourself in this warm, cozy routine. You'll pick your destination to start sailing there, but then you'll feed your friends, you'll farm, you'll fish, you'll craft, and you'll enjoy the journey, a slow pace, until you hit land. So once you hit land, you'll discover new cities and new islands, not particularly deep in terms of what you can explore, but deep in the variety of characters you'll find. Characters in this game are split up between important main characters, spirits, and allies, and then just kind of your generic NPCs for the most part. But even these generic NPCs have these really high quality, sometimes really intense lines that they'll deliver that'll make you like burst out laughing from some random faceless NPC. It's crazy. The dialogue in this game, or the lines that are given to throwaway characters, is higher than I would say in most AAA games that I play. Without spoiling it, I remember a story from an NPC who randomly is talking about this very intense moment of infidelity and love, and he goes into this like real depth about this personal dilemma, and then you never encounter him ever again, which just shows you how much they're willing to throw these little human stories. They pepper them throughout the game. So you'll continue upgrading and crafting and trying to meet the quests or the requests quests given to you by the ghost tourists now living on your boat. And these spirits, they all have memories that they either remember or have forgotten about their real lives that will be divulged to you as you complete the things that they ask you to do. So these spirits are impressively human. It's actually amazing your boat doesn't just capsize with the weight of the emotional trauma and baggage that these spirits are going to bring on board. You'll find yourself liking and getting connected to some of them, but you'll also find yourself intensely disliking some of these spirits, which makes it really awkward when you find yourself using the hug ability. This game has a built-in hug button. When you find yourself using that on some asshole who's insulting all your passengers, it's strange. But aside from a few obnoxious, stand out in a bad way moments, the well-roundedness of these flawed characters, it actually adds a lot of depth to their stories and makes this feel like a real story about human life and death. As you journey and you complete these quests, you eventually reach the moment where your spirit friend tells you they're ready to go. And it's a strange moment because there's a satisfaction in having completed what needed to be done for them, but then this sense of dread knowing you're gonna have to say goodbye. And each one of these spirits actually approaches these final moments differently. They all have different philosophies on death, which kind of explains what defines their actions in life and the identity and personality that they bring on board. You get to see it, you really get to understand who they are in their final moments. God, this game it's so heavy. Penis joke, pervert, underpants, poop stain, fart. All right, okay, maybe now we got some levity. All right, let me just try and get some of those heaviness out of here. You'll be at these moments, these goodbyes are painful, they're emotional, but they're satisfying. And then you find yourself debating these selfish ideas like, well, maybe I should keep the spirit around anyways, because there's nothing forcing you to take them when they're ready to go, which forces you to confront some strange things about letting go yourself. You'll find yourself wanting to make their trip as comfortable as possible when you realize you get there. And you just get so attached to these characters because they're like they're so human. They're so living and breathing, although they're literally not human or living or breathing. This is very strange. It's very strange emotions. After they leave, you'll be left with a variety of empty spaces. Literally, in that they'll leave behind the house that you so carefully furnished for them, but also symbolically when you realize you have leftovers of the favorite meal that you once made a routine out of giving them every day. These alternating feelings, right? The warmth of these simple routines and the hug button, followed by the emptiness of these empty chairs, of these empty homes. That's what burns this game into your memory. Even now, having completed the game, I still get blindsided once in a while from a memory or a feeling from something that happened or a character I met and knew during their final moments in Spiritfarer. Now, if you want to catch me getting blindsided by all kinds of emotions and feels, you can catch me live on my stream at twitch.tv/DrDroo. You can come make fun of me for being a crying baby over there. Now, let me help you answer the question that I think you're really here for, which is whether or not this game is for you. And I think that question is best answered by what this game is not. It's not Super Maid Simulator. It's definitely not that. But Spiritfarer is a different game than some of the other ones that you might play. It's not an exciting game. It's not about power. It's not about testing yourself strategically. It's not about puzzles. There's no challenges. And you won't find yourself growing in any sort of skill as the game continues. This game is not a mountain to climb, and it's not a villain or a rival to overcome. This game is it's a cruise ship for you to drink Mai Tais on. Really heavy, somber Mai Tais. I actually rushed through the game in order to complete this review, and it left me really frustrated when the game forced me to slow down, right? This game doesn't allow you to rush through it. It makes you take your time. Even worse, it left me an emotional wreck when I'm firing off these machine gun goodbyes to all my spirit friends. This game is not meant to be taken super fast. This is not a speed run game. This game is like a hot cup of tea. You sip it, you don't chug it. If you find yourself enjoying the simple pleasures of a game like Stardew Valley or the less competitive, less violent aspects of Minecraft, you'll definitely enjoy this. But even beyond that, if you're looking for a game to impact you or have a meaningful experience with, not necessarily an adrenaline rush, but something that you will remember for a really long time, then yes, this is the game for you. It will raise questions about life, about your values, about letting go, and about, you know, watching someone's final moments. In other words, this game will change you. If you feel like this video
deeply changed you,
then make sure to give it a thumbs up like thing so that YouTube knows that my videos aren't complete garbage. Thank you. Now, the game is available for every console, but if you're interested in playing it on PC and Xbox, it is one of the games
on the Xbox Game Pass library.
I'll be honest, the Xbox app on PC works like total ass. It's absolutely terrible. But you get 3 months of Xbox Game Pass for $1, and you get this, and you get access to a bunch of other games. It is possible that this game is best experienced curled up with a Nintendo Switch and the comfiest part of your couch so that you can sob, you know, comfortably. But if you're hurting for cash, Xbox Game Pass is a great way to get access to this game for $1. That's it. If you're interested in watching some of my other reviews, they're going to be linked here. Thank you for watching. And stay nerdy, doctor's orders.